Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today, gonna be a Patreon cast between Serral and ShoWTimE here on Romanticide, the latter edition. Is this slow? I feel like that was slow. And in the top left, it is the Finnish Zerg, it is Serral. And in the bottom right, it is ShoWTimE, our red Protoss player. So a ZVP here from TSL 6, which wrapped up back in December of 2020. I figure to get a ZVP between Serral and ShoWTimE had to go back a little ways, but hey. There hasn't been a balance patch since then, so, what is this? What are you doing, Serral? Scouting for a proxy versus ShoWTimE? I feel like this is a sneaky drone, either for a ninja expand, or maybe a proxy hatch? This is very strange for Serral. Alright, so 16, 18, 17. 17 supply when this drone hatches. Or when you make another drone, you'll have 18 supply and just a scouting drone. Hold on a second. Proxy hatch. Look at this. Oh, I did not know this game started with a proxy hatch. I'm so stoked for this. Look at this. Look at him sneaking the drone across, going for the proxy hatch, messing up the build for ShoWTimE. He's like, you've blocked my hatchery many a time. Now the shoe's on the other foot. This is what you got to do. About 5 to 6 probes attacking. Bring a zealot in, chrono boost it out. You can kill this thing before it does too much damage. But don't just let it go. Like, I've seen some Protoss players just let it go, which is dumb. You do need to attack it with probes. You don't want this thing to finish. It's a terrible thing if it finishes. And it's gonna die before it finishes. See, exactly. You got 5 probes. A zealot dies faster. Oh, and tosses down the evolution chamber on top of the creep left over by the canceled hatch. And now the drone is still alive. Oh, this is great. Expansion does go down later. So some resources lost there for Serral, but the timing is all over the place here for ShoWTimE. And just a little bit of, you know, a taste of your own medicine there, I think, is what Serral was intending to say against ShoWTimE. He wasn't trying to win with it or anything. Like, you're throwing down a proxy hatch inside your opponent's natural. Come on. Somebody as good as ShoWTimE knows how to deal with that. That's not really a big deal. But third base timing for Serral is a little bit late. As a result, he doesn't have the resources to throw this down. There is a probe here to mess things up, but the Lings on the way should be able to clear that out and allow a drone to come expand there pretty soon. If Serral wants it to, you know, could be going for a super delayed third, which I would not recommend considering ShoWTimE's natural base is, you know, almost done at this point in time. And, wow, Zealot came all the way across the map to try to mess with this. Okay, Senor Zealot. Where are you going? I don't know, man. Serral, I'm worried about you, buddy. Getting speed, getting queens. Third base timing is ultra delayed at this point in time. Drone comes up, sees, yes, the Zealot is causing a problem. Queen's going to chase him off that front porch, though, especially with a little bit of Ling support. And, yeah, the micro's pretty... Oh, there's an Adept now, too? Okay, it doesn't matter. The Adept's not able to do anything to the drone. Third base goes down. Zealot Adept can't really kill this by themselves. So I'm going to pull back. I'm really surprised there's not a creep tumor here from Serral. It didn't die, either. He hasn't lost a creep tumor. Tossing one down now, but it really feels late. It's interesting to me that Serral actually went for the inject on the natural before the creep tumor. It's not usually how he rolls. Adepts come in, Xeno Lair, Xeno Roach Warren. Feeling pretty good about this, that it is an actual real third base and not some kind of a 2-base Roach all-in. There's a Void Ray on the way anyway, though. So the Void Ray is going to do pretty well against any Roaches that show up anytime soon. That is something, well, I was going to say that's something Protoss have that Terran don't, but Terran have Banshees. So I know all of you guys have seen, well, probably fairly aware of the Rogue versus Maru GSL Season 1 Finals, wherein the meme is that Rogue just went mass Roach against Maru in every game and beat him 4-1. It was Roach Ravager, point 1, and point 2 is the game where Maru made a couple Banshees. He won that game because 2 Banshees are amazing against Roach Ravager all-ins. Just like that, Void Ray is really good against Roach all-ins. Meanwhile, a couple Adepts here at the natural base, not going to accomplish a whole lot. A couple drones go down for 2 Adepts is a trade I think Serral is willing to make. Third base coming up now. Void Ray is protecting. It's been a bit of a janky game thus far. I do feel like ShoWTimE probably knows Serral better than any other Protoss on Earth. At least any other elite Protoss on Earth, because the Koreans don't play against Serral a lot, and ShoWTimE does. The EU ladder is just, I'm sure, games against Serral several times a week, if not several times a day. I don't know what the schedule is for ShoWTimE, but it seems entirely possible that he's playing against Serral all the time. So he knows his tendencies. Serral knows ShoWTimE's tendencies as well, but I think ShoWTimE has as good a chance of beating Serral as any Protoss on Earth. I really do. We've seen him do it. We've seen him take him down. Zergling's going for that run by. Nice wall. Got a stalker here. Creep spread looking all right here from Serral. Oracle accomplished some things, but doesn't have any kills. Sitting on 44 HP and no shields, which isn't ideal. And we're bringing some... Oh, we're really doing the German taxi here. Wow, Serral really doesn't want to play against a late game ShoWTimE. Look at him German taxiing. So it just means loading up your queens into a couple overlords and bringing them across the map and killing the Protoss before they get 10 carriers out. That's generally the concept. Bringing some roaches along as well. Oh, that overlord's going to die. Oh, the transfuse, though. And the unload and the shots. This is weird. I kind of like this from ShoWTimE. He's delaying the German taxi pretty darn effectively, and nothing can hurt these Void Rays except for queens, but they can't chase the Void Rays down. Oh, that Overlord died. Are we close enough at this point? We might just be close enough at this point. I don't know. He does load up his queens. Ravagers getting focused down by the Void Rays is so brilliant, and I don't know there are enough. Oh, God, the two of the queens died inside that Overlord, inside that Dropper Lord. This is absolutely getting shut down by ShoWTimE. Holy crap. That said, the third base is getting overwhelmed by Zerglings. We have some Lings inside the main base accomplishing a little bit here, but the Oracle can clean that up. Dude, I think the third base is just dead. Okay, so third base dies. The German taxi concept does not go well at all, but killing ShoWTimE's third base is kind of fantastic. Oh, he's been unloading Lings here into the main base. 8 probes have gone down. The third Nexus is out. The Void Ray count is super heavy right now, and the only anti-air that Serral has are 5 Ravagers, which, good luck with that. Good luck with dealing with 8 Void Rays with 5 Ravagers. That's not going to work. That's why the Hydralisk Den is on the way. Third base getting replanted instantly from ShoWTimE, because that's just how good of a player he is. The creep spread is pretty abysmal from Serral. This is a weird game from Serral. I'm not getting Serral vibes from it, to be honest with you. But it is an official Serral replay from TSL 6. So, I mean, can't complain too much. Dude, these Void Rays are going to kill. They're going to slay. Look at this Spore. Goodbye, Spore. Look at this Queen. Goodbye, Queen. Look at this dodging Corrosive Vials easily, because Void Rays have great acceleration and top speed. Spore taking hits. Queens are fighting here. I mean, a lot of queens are in production, in all fairness. Oh, Ling unload inside the main base. Great warping of a Zealot. That is beautiful, beautiful location, though. And actually, you know, the queens and the spores and the Ravagers working together can kind of cobble together a defense as Hydras start popping out. And that's really what Void Rays hate fighting, are Hydralisks. Serral being more aggressive than we've seen from him in a while, at least on the channel. Again, Patreon cast posted on patreon.com/Falcon Paladin a month before it shows up on the YouTube channel. So thanks if you're watching this the week of May the 15th. Appreciate your support. You know, little as $1 a month gets you an ad-free viewing of this cast a month before anybody on YouTube sees it. So check it out, patreon.com/Falcon Paladin. If you are a Patreon, feel warm and fuzzy. I appreciate you and love you. Okay, so just 5 Hydras at a time, going for the speed upgrade, going for missile attacks, already has the range. A Hive now on the way from Serral. Storm getting researched from ShoWTimE, because if your opponent... Oh my gosh, this Ling stuff is kind of crazy. If your opponent is going for a lot of Hydralisks, Storm is going to be very, very useful for you. This is a very injured 19 HP Overlord here. Scrap-tastic match. 4th base coming in from Serral now. Lurker Den on the way, so more traditional ZVP is starting to emerge from the weirdness that has been the first 10 minutes. I gotta say, I love it, though. I love a crazy 10 minutes of ZVP. Very fun. Lurker Den, as mentioned previously, Storm going to be a good answer to most of this. Void Ray is actually amazing against lurkers, it turns out. Mostly because they can shoot down and lurkers can't shoot up. Pro tip. Ling's trying to get stuff done at this third base, but beautiful wall of warp gates. There's a cannon, there's a shield battery. Nah. Lings aren't doing much to this base, at least not in just the smaller numbers like they want to. And Serral doesn't want to invest a ton of money into 50 Zerglings, so he's not going to do that. Seismic Spine's first upgrade for those lurkers increases the range of the lurker spines. We've got ourselves Vipers in production too. Abducting these Void Rays or casting Parasitic Bomb on them would be really good. So here we go. High Templar ready to rock. They've got a bunch of energy. They have Storm researched. We got some Zealots in here, some Adepts, some Stalkers, and a couple Archons. I like this comp out of ShoWTimE. I really do. Lurker's trying to burrow in advantageous positions. Really can't Chrono Boost that upgrade out. He'd love to Chrono Boost out Seismic Spines at the moment. It'd be really nice. Meanwhile, Zealot warping in the main. The Warp Prism got through the defenses. Ling Hydra pretty good in the situation with some Queens tanking too. Not bad at all. I don't think any Hydralisks died there at all, but this engagement, Prismatic Alignment is up, storming the Hydras. The Lurker's getting focused on by an Archon there a little bit. The Void Rays, oh, catching some Corrosive Vials in the mix, though. God, it's so hard to get up there and take down the Lurkers while avoiding that. Hydra's fighting double Parasitic Bomb. Touchdown, split them Void Rays. Recognizing there's two is really vital here. Parasitic Bomb wounded a lot of these Void Rays. The Hydras are pretty scary. The Storm's going to have to save them. The Storm is doing a pretty good job of preventing the chase here. Meanwhile, Zealots rolling into the third base. A couple Hydras are not going to be enough to stop that. More Zealots joining this party, but the Hydra count's a little bit too scary for them. And they decide to back on out and live to fight another day. Serral taking a fifth base in the direction that the Void Rays were, but the Void Rays recall out somewhere. Ah, here they are. Void Ray's injured, but 15 kills on that one. Void Ray is pretty successful, I would say. Carrier production has begun from ShoWTimE. This is what Serral is trying to avoid, everybody. He's trying to avoid the Carrier, Void Ray, Storm, Archon composition out of ShoWTimE here. It's hard for Zerg to deal with. They hate it. The German taxi routine is intended to avoid this entirely. Couldn't do it, and now here we are. ShoWTimE in a relatively advantageous position, I would say. And just getting to late game ZVP here. Again, Raynor won the World Championship against Trap because he didn't allow Trap to get up to that composition. Not because he easily handled the composition when it showed up. No. He definitely killed Trap with German Taxi Roach Ravager shenanigans before the Sky Toss could be scary. So if you're like, well, but Falcon, if Sky Toss was that overpowered, then how come Raynor won the World Championship? That's how. Because he just didn't let Trap get there, which has always been a strategy that I've hated in StarCraft. Well, this strategy is impossible to beat. Well, just don't let your opponent get to that strategy. It's like, well, it's not an answer I want to hear. I want to hear how to kill it, you know? But, you know, Raynor exhibited how to prevent your opponent from getting there beautifully. Nice feedback on the Vipers. Storm directly on these Lurkers. They just get almost nothing done. These two Lurkers accomplish 0 things before they get exploded into blood. 2 more Lurkers coming up. I can't say they feel too particularly excited. This Lurker got more done. Like, these Lurkers, I don't know if they want to go into battle anytime soon. But Serral pretty happily on 80 workers. Income is favoring him, but it's been going up and down over the course of the last 10 minutes or so. So let's see how Serral decides to deal with the carriers. I think eventually he's gonna need Corruptors, but for now it's Hydra production, it's Vipers, it's abducting individual carriers into a Hydra ball. And trying to finish them off very quickly before they can get back to the rest of their swarm. Or squad, or whatever you're into. Yeah, double Spire coming up from Serral. He knows what he must do. You just can't beat this composition with straight up. Man. Right? With like straight up Hydra. Even with Vipers, you can't do it. You need the Corruptors. You need their tankiness. You need their ability to deal bonus damage to the carriers. Couple Zealot attacks, not accomplishing a whole lot from ShoWTimE, but this is just, you got to keep Serral on his toes. You can't let him feel comfortable macroing up back there. Can't let him feel comfortable enough to spread creep like a madman, which he's not doing, by the way. He doesn't even have his bases connected with creep at this point, which is a little bit weird for him. I mean, this area totally, terribly creep spreaded. This area has no creep at all. I'm just telling you, Serral feels out of sorts in this match, and I don't know why. It's just game 1 of ShoWTimE versus Serral from their series. It's the best of, but I don't know. Like, I don't know what would make Serral feel off-kilter here, other than his German taxi failed, right? And maybe that's enough to discombobulate him, but ShoWTimE taking a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th base of his own. He is out-expanding Serral right now in an extremely aggressive way. And man, if you want to beat a former world champion, that's not a bad way to do it, ShoWTimE. Resources lost, 14,000 to 11,000. Zerg player has more, which is not a surprise. It's usually how these things go. It's fine. It's within acceptable parameters for Serral right now. These guys hanging out. Run! There you go. Running, dodging, like bosses. Oh, these lurkers are just not accomplishing a lot at this point in time. It is 5 carriers, so it's not an unsurmountable number. Oh, that's 6. Gets a little bit scarier with 6. Zealot's taking down a queen here at the 4th base, taking out more queens as they show up. Lurkers have to burrow in for base defense purposes. Spore Forest, mini Spore Forest here at the 3rd base. Lurkers getting all of the Zealots and about 4 drones going down there. Blah, blah. See, there's your abduct. Oh, the Void Ray is getting abducted into the Spore Forest. All right, so Void Ray is gone except for 1. Mass Carrier, actually real easy for Corruptors to deal with. If there are no Void Rays, which there's the last Void Ray down. You just have to dodge storms real well. And I think Serral can pull that off. So the fact that Void Ray count is down to 0. I guess the Archons are also going to be very good against Corruptors. So you have to dodge Archons and storms while focusing on the carriers. It is a dance. It's a very tricky dance. Serral expanding bottom left for his 6th. But again, ShoWTimE 6 is up and running happily. Happily. Hippily. 3, but no, Void Rays in production. 3 carriers at a time. Dark Shrine coming in here too. Hydra's insanely good against Archons. Yeah, carrier down, good abduct, but Storm's eating a lot of these Hydralisks as well. Using Consume on this hatchery that's on the front line seems real dangerous to me. And if Serral ends up killing this with Consume, I'm going to be shocked. Okay, he pulls off before it dies. Consumes off an extractor. Got a lurker set up down here at the 3rd base of ShoWTimE. And Zealots, if they can see the lurkers, don't do too bad. Lurkers don't do bonus damage versus Zealots, because Zealots are light units, and lurkers do bonus to armored. But, you know, they do a lot of damage nevertheless. It's kind of like Immortals versus Hydras. Like, the Immortal doesn't do bonus damage versus Hydras, but it does a good chunk of damage versus Hydras, and they're squishy enough, it matters, you know. So Adrenal Glands just about finishing up here from Serral, plus 3 air weapons finishing up here at 18 minutes for Los ShoWTimE. Of course, he is German, so Spanish doesn't really fit. Der ShoWTimE, I think maybe that's the best I can do. These little Zealot run-bys are just not accomplishing a lot for ShoWTimE today. So no matter how discombobulated Serral is, I think he's holding these attacks pretty well. You know, he has lost 14 drones. He's killed 11 probes. No bases have died today except for the 3rd base for ShoWTimE, which is nice for Serral. Hatchery's not dying is a good metric for winning the game, it turns out. A little bit of some Hydra Lurker action at the 3rd base. Really wants to kill this 3rd base again. Like, just has an extremely big, important goal to kill this 3rd base for the 2nd time today. I think he might get it. I really don't see a response here from ShoWTimE unless he wants to recall home, which I don't think he does. Shield battery, out of energy. Cannons really can't stand against this many Hydras, especially if they have 3/3, which they do. And there's the recall. So he does force a recall of the entire armada. Killing an Overseer, but, you know, 6 probes down. Oh, and caught him with Archons coming the other way. Ah, that was beautiful. That was a tricky play from ShoWTimE. Oh, recalls the carriers, but the Archons were coming by ground the other direction, and all the Hydras died. They thought they were safe. They thought they were safe. Bottom left base, entirely undefended. Top right base attack, defended. So, pro tip, if you want your bases to survive, defend them with something. Dude, Serral's in trouble. I'm just telling you, he's making 5 ultras, 7 corruptors at a time. He's got 17 corruptors already. Oh, here we go. So now total, 19 total corruptors. The math was misleading there, I apologize. Another base from ShoWTimE here on Romanticide. Zealot run-bys, again, not accomplishing a lot other than just forcing Serral to respond to them. Double expanding Serral in response to losing his bottom left-hand base. And this, okay, so he's triple expanding, replacing the bottom left. So 6th, 7th, and 8th bases under construction all at the same time. ShoWTimE's 7th is coming up, but Serral sharking around in this area. Probably wants to kill it if he can. Should be pretty easy to do so. This is not even done. Yeah. Cancel. ShoWTimE recognizes he has no way to save it, so we're going to cancel that one. Make sure nothing can be built here again. Salting the earth, killing assimilators. Burrowing a Hydralisk here would be cool, but I don't think we have burrow. I don't know. I don't usually research burrow, but I kind of feel like it's got uses. Professionals don't use it all that much either. So the ultras are here to deal with the High Templar, right? The corruptors are here to deal with ye old carriers. Good angle here, by the way. That's a great angle if you want to, yeah, abduct. Okay, so feedback means, and a good storm. Feedback means that Viper can't do anything for a little bit. Zealot attack, and I take down another hatch. Remember when I was so proud of Serral for not losing a hatch? This is the second one today he's going to lose. Again, entirely undefended. Not like he had army in the general area and lost it anyway. Just completely non-defended. I guess it was avenged, right? These Hydras and Lurkers did kill the Zealots that killed the hatch, but ShoWTimE's cool with that. He's got 3,000 minerals in the bank, and he's retaking his 6 o'clock this time with a million cannons and shield batteries to make it harder for Serral to kill it before it comes up. Meanwhile, Warp Prism. Ooh, Storm dropped. Get many kills. Get Lurkers. Man, how do you sneak a Lurker back here? Basically, that's a Storm drop. You get a Lurker behind a mineral line, Storm dropped. 6 kills is about right. Fare thee well, Lurker friend. Alright, cannons. No match against the mighty Ultralisk. Actually, surprisingly match against the mighty Ultralisk. This guy's like, he's lost most of his HP to a single cannon. Seems kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you. Carrier group down to the south. This hatch is sacrificial again. Serral's just like, whatevs. You can have this one, I suppose. Which is not a super healthy mentality to have over the long course of a game, is just donating hatcheries to your opponent. This is going to be a recall, I think. Serral feels pretty good about this engagement, and I don't imagine ShoWTimE wants to, so there we go. We're going to lose. Okay, couple carriers and a couple High Templar, and I think, was that a Warp Prism that died? I don't know what that was. 12 o'clock base from Serral dies again. So, again, we're just looking at 4 hatcheries down, a couple that died in construction, so ShoWTimE took it personally when I told him that no hatcheries had died today and is really making up lost time. Working on taking every base on the map. This one has not been taken yet. Changeling scouting that out from Serral. Air armor level 2 completing for ShoWTimE. Working on 3 carapace for the sky and the ground. Yeah, shield battery is no match for Ultralisks. They can't even fight back. Engagement on this side of the map. A little dicey, but ShoWTimE taking the last available position. Archons and DTs. Just straight up countering these Ultralisks. Also, that Queen is dead. I don't know why you're here, Queen. Gonna be honest with you. Oh. I don't know why these... Okay, Ultralisks just bad pathing their way to getting obliterated there, too. DT's taking down the Queens, even though there's detection available. Queens can't handle Dark Templar at all. Great Storm on the Hydras when they arrive. ShoWTimE. That was a great about 30-second spread for you, buddy. 30 seconds of time that Serral wishes he could get back, I'm sure. Broodlord's on the way. The Void Ray count is getting scary again. I know you clicked on this, maybe assuming Serral was going to win because he's the higher ranked player in a Ligielak, but I'm telling you, ShoWTimE is the Protoss with the best ability to beat him on Earth, I feel like. And he's done it, and he will do it again. And I don't know if he's going to do it in this game, because I don't know. But another base dies. Look, man. The metrics don't lie. The metrics are that 5 hatcheries have been killed. A couple more have been killed under construction. The Broodlords are here unsupported because the Void Rays are on the other side of the map. So I kind of like a Broodlord assault of a base that doesn't have any Void Rays on, like, the hemisphere. I mean, Broodlord attacks are not exactly super fast at killing things. They're not terrible at it, you know? Lurkers outranging cannons with the seismic spines upgrade. That's how good it is. Okay, so we recalled the army in. Saved the hatch. The cannons were there for buffer for that very purpose. Draining the shield batteries of energy with lurkers with +3 attack and the seismic spines upgrade. I'm deciding not to do that anymore. Got a Zealot DT Archon army here. Actually, bait. Look at this. Look at that bait. Oh, that was a beautiful play from Serral. Ugh. Did have to retreat in the end, but not a bad play. Also, the Broodlords have not died. Like, they've spent a good 2.5 minutes alive at this point, which is an accomplishment for Broodlords. I feel like they die fairly quickly after they arrive. But Serral, good at taking care of his units. Where's the Void Rays? Here's the Void Rays. So should be able to pounce on this and save the Nexus. Unless they hold back for unknown reasons. Look at this setup. Oh, okay. No, just I thought it was like a forward thing, but no. Actually, okay, so the Nexus goes down. Wow. ShoWTimE sacked that. He could have tried to jump in there. Oh, but we do have Les Infesteurs out. Do they have the Neural Parasite? They have the Neural Parasite. Okay. This is where it gets a little bit more dicey. Oh, but another hatch dies. Wow. I was going to say a little bit more dicey for Protoss, but, like, the income for Serral has been severely stunted. I mean, even income is a beautiful place for ShoWTimE to be. Any Protoss to be. Even income versus a Zerg who's going to be less cost efficient than you. But look at this. 37,000 resources lost for ShoWTimE and 34,000 lost for Serral. Look who the more cost efficient player is in this game. It seems to be the Finn. Tempest in production to directly counter the Broodlords that he couldn't a second ago. Love a good Broodlord Tempest battle. And that, I mean, the Tempest destroy them because it's not really a good fight. Tectonic destabilizers on the way too. Destabilizers. To do more damage to ground buildings. Well, you know, just buildings in general that are on the ground by Tempests. Specifically created because Spore Forests were so hard for Protoss to handle that they gave Tempest an upgrade specifically to deal with Spore Forests. It's fun. I do like balance upgrades, like balance changes in StarCraft that happen due to a very specific thing. Like, Tectonic Destabilizers were not created to deal with anything Terran, or really kill anything for Protoss or for Zerg except specifically for Spores. But, you know, they made it do bonus versus all buildings anyway, just in the name of equality and fairness, right? Okay, alright. Broodlords taking down a base that, again, is largely dead. About 500 minerals there and some gas. No gas remaining. Wow, that expired just in the nick of time. Tempests versus Broodlords. That's what I'm talking about here. 9 more probes die. Taking this base for all of its about 1,700 gas and, I don't know, 2,000 minerals. Sure. This is probably stuff you're going to want later in this match, everybody. Immortal is a great add to this base to keep it alive against Ultralisks without question. These Broodlords are doing more work, I say, as they get totally flanked by the Tempest and one of them dies instantly. The Infestors toss down a Fungal. I guess they're trying to prevent the Tempest from pursuing, but another Broodlord gets sniped from long distance. Again, Tempests largely created because Broodlords exist. That's another thing. Problem to solve. Broodlords exist. Tempests it is. Very specialized unit. No way of Terran music playing right now, but it's okay, I guess. These are forward. These are forward shield batteries. Meanwhile, Baneling's crashing on, you know, Cannon, Zealots, High Templar, whatever they're into. Very scrappy attack here. Dude, that Archon is dead if you spine it a couple more times. And there we go. Spine it a couple more times, done. Some Ling support there for sure. Zealot Archon, surprisingly good against Lurkers. Archons, or Immortals rather. Immortals doing bonus damage versus Zealots is really nice. Très bien, if you will. Also, Zealot Immortal pretty good against Spine Crawlers. Who knew? The Broodlords are taking down bases, everybody. Really not too bad here. This is a crazy, crazy match. It might very well get an epic tag based on where we're going with it. Both players have a pretty big bank. Both players pretty even across the board. Both players keep killing each other's bases. Ooh, more probes dying. Although, look at Serral abandoning... Oh, the probes survive only because Serral's attention is needed elsewhere, I guess. Pulling all the way back to the creep. And again, the creep has been okay today. It hasn't been monstrous. I think part of that is ShoWTimE doing a pretty active job killing the creep. But also, I don't know, Serral's not as creepy as he usually is. Zealot attack against the Spore Force. Another good way to deal with Spore Force is Zealots. Turns out in the 12 o'clock base for Serral dies again while he's trying to expand to the top right, which I think ShoWTimE has vision of. He has vision of that. Zealots engaging into a Broodlord Ultralisk Zergling army, which is not going to go well for Zealots. I really feel like a lot of this resources lost stuff for ShoWTimE is just Zealots running across the map and bad things happening. Another hatch down. I mean, this is turning into ludicrous territory here. 9 hatches have been killed. I don't know. I can't remember many matches where a Zerg player loses 9 to 10 hatcheries and wins. It's an indicator that means there's a problem. Broodlord's getting chased down. Another one nice. Void Ray, Tempest, good combo. Oracle killed. And Zealot's trying to kill the top right base, but the response from Serral's ground armies are appropriate. Serral expanding, double expanding again. To try to make this thing work. Yeah, your shield battery cannon stuff doesn't work super well once it's fully upgraded Ultras and Hydras. That is a pro tip. I love these two Broodlords are still getting work done. 5 kills each. Look at these monsters getting 5 total kills each. Wow. You know, because meanwhile, Tempest with 7 kills. Mothership with 4 kills. Void Ray with 0 kills. Void Ray with 6 kills. These forward shield batteries, Serral's kind of largely bypassing. He really wants this Immortal, and he's going to get the Immortal. As well as this Archon, probably. Unless he doesn't want it, which he didn't want it. So, you get to survive for now, Archon. Enjoy. Enjoy your time. See how fast the... Wow, look how fast the Spores die here. I mean, Carriers do pretty well against them, but Tempests especially. Especially the Tempests. Alright, this base is largely dead. Zealots take down the top right base again. And ShoWTimE just kind of sharking around the edge of the creep here. Clearing out spores, clearing out creep tumors. Trying to push Serral back here. I mean, this is going to turn into who has the money at the end of the game. Zealot's surprisingly good against Ultras with upgrades. Although, man, still not able to kill this guy, huh? Alright. Bottom left base. There's no anti-air here left whatsoever, so that should be dead, and it is. But Serral again re-expanded to these top 2 bases, so losing the bottom left is not as big of a deal. ShoWTimE, oh, he wants this base. It's important. It is a les important to his chances of victory. I wish I spoke more German, because I'd be using it here, but French is all I got, guys. ShoWTimE's 6 o'clock base is pretty much the only steady source of income he's had for a while now. I guess this has been pretty steady, but it's dead now. Fungal on the Void Rays. They can shake that off pretty quickly. Shake it off. Shake it off. Making more Void Rays. So ShoWTimE's plan here is to go more Void Ray than anything else. Which, not a bad idea. It's just you have to worry about the Parasitic Bomb and the Fungals and the Neural Parasites and the whatnots. Top right base coming up for what feels like the 8th time today, but that's probably not accurate. If I had to guess. 12 o'clock. Dead again. What is that, 11 hatches? 12 hatcheries killed. It's going to be 13, too. Like, Serral's right here, and he can't save it because just the damage output is way too much. I like this storm on the Ultras. They just bathe in it. Nom, 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 nom. Income tab. It's just been generally hanging out in this area. Serral's got some nice spikes, but ShoWTimE's got a nice spike too. Top right base is dead again. Serral's just not allowed to have this. I don't know what to tell you. I love the 2 Broodlord against a cannon battle. Ooh, Parasitic Bomb. Ooh, forces a recall on the Void Rays, which means they're not part of this battle. They did not recall too far away, though. Fungal over everything. The Mothership gets killed because that's what it's good for. The Void Ray count is enough to deal with these. Oh, is he bringing in the Void Rays into the middle of battle? Neural Parasite on the carriers is beautiful, too. Oh, but no. ShoWTimE able to hold on to the sheer power of HP. It looks like that Ultra's dead. Is Serral just done? He's down 100 supply after that battle. He does have a bank. He's making 12 Corruptors, but it doesn't seem enough to deal with the Sky Toss. This is what Serral wanted to avoid by going for the German taxi. And the end result has met him and put him in the position he did not want to be in. I just don't think he has the army to handle this. He's got exactly 4 Infestors. He's going to have 22 Corruptors, but remember how all the Void Rays we have? 8 Void Rays, man. That's all we're making. We're just quadruple pumping Void Rays because we know that's how we deal with the Corruptors. And if the Corruptors are gone, everything else dies. Yeah, man. Telling ya, ShoWTimE, he's very capable of this. Do not sleep on ShoWTimE. Tobias here. This is really scrappy, though. Look at this play. Zergling's coming in from an unexpected angle, going to take down this hatch. They do have the upgrades, as well as the adrenal glands. Everything threes across the board there. Ju just barely takes it down and gets out of there in time. Fungal on the Void Rays is great. Parasitic Bomb on the Void Rays is really good, too, but the splits are disgustingly good. Let me just... Look at this! And ShoWTimE is your winner. Serral taps out. It's just too much. It's just too much. If we look at this final battle, ShoWTimE does it thanks to the power of this comp. Again, hard for Zerg to deal with. The Corruptors try to fly around the left side to flank these carriers, but the Archons are down there. Yeah, look at this. All the Broodlords are going to die. The Storm is chasing the Corruptor Ball. The Archons are getting splash damage against the Corruptor Ball. There's a Void Ray in here, too. They just can't engage. There's too much Storm everywhere. The Broodlords are dying, and there's just too many targets for Neural Parasite to work on, and there's only one Infestor alive anyway. The Queen Anti-Air is not going to help. Tons of Storm available, and just no Ultras left over. And incredible win from ShoWTimE. I told you he could do it. I told you he would do it as well. This is the man. What a boss. What a boss ShoWTimE is. And just, you know, sniping bases. That's the plan here. 16 hatcheries killed. Lost 7 Nexuses himself, which is bonkers. Serral ends up losing 73,000 resources, almost 74. ShoWTimE's at 69. So remember when Serral had fewer resources lost than ShoWTimE did? That flipped big time in the last few minutes. That's how it works. Only 5 carriers died. He had 9 left at the end of the game. That is some amazing babysitting. Amazing babysitting of carriers. Just unimpeachable. You can't do better than that, I don't think. 34 corruptors died, 15 at the end of the game. He neural parasited a carrier, and the interceptors count as lost for the Zerg if the carrier dies when interceptors are out. Is that what happened, or did he neural parasite an interceptor? I don't think you can even do that. I'm pretty sure you can't even do that. All right. Well, good game. What a fantastic show from the German Protoss. He's the man. He just is. I don't know what to tell you about this man. Other than respect ShoWTimE. All right. So that right there is going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and a Patreon cast. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching. You take care of yourself.